Okay, great. Got it. Got it. Okay, let's sit that way. I won't go too far. Right. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, we'll just start loosening off a little bit. Find a. Just play here with one thing we were doing the other day. Just think about tensing the shoulders, making a fist, kind of pulling them up towards the ears, and then just thinking really releasing the fingers, the wrists, and just kind of pulse through that. A little bit of a tight shoulder, pulling them up, locking the back, and then just really feel releasing it. And then just finding the feet in the ground. Let the heels raise gently and rock. And we'll just do a few variations of these for the arms as well. So keep that going and then just think about swinging the arms. So it's a little bit like when we do the arm swing, but without the hips kind of engaging. So raising the arms up. Lowering them down, and keeping the fingers, elbows, shoulders free, wrists. Good, and then we just go front and back. In this case, just play with the arms kind of swinging in the front, swinging in the back as well. So you can play with the direction of the arms. They can either go away from the body, the direction of the body, or they can also go with the direction of the body. But just play with, again, just loosening the shoulders. You can play a little bit with that kind of gentle, kind of pulling motion in and out, or pushing motion out as well. Just play with that kind of front back direction of the shoulder. The body. And also playing with the feet, allowing the weight to shift to the toes, shift to the heels. And then one variation for that is just have the hands up and think about slightly bowing the body back and bowing the body forward. Don't go anywhere painful, too much stress, especially if you go down. Just feel you're activating the back line of the body. Go back. And the front line, as you go. And then just let them release. Take a little bit side to side. Yeah, the first one with the arms, just think about them being heavy and a little bit like they're drawing the body down. A little bit like pulling the weight of the body down. Pulling down. And feel the weight also go to the same side as well. So think of the arm being heavy, just slightly pulling you over that side. Great. Good. Good. And then to really open up the rib cage, just start to bring the arms out to the side. Reaching out. Think of both directions as you do it. So obviously that one takes more emphasis, but think about the opposite side staying put. It's like you're being slightly forward and letting the weight go to one side. Good. And again, just releasing the arms down. Just let them wrap. Body with a rotation. And then one variation with this, if you think about the arms coming out this way, think about now the arms swinging down and out the back. So again, a little bit like the swing pattern you do, the emphasis again on the hip. Just really trying to release the shoulders out. You can also let the back hand flex with it, let the back hand kind of go to the shoulder as well. Find the shoulder at the back, shoulder at the front. Good. And then we'll take it to the inside-outside direction. Just play with, in this case, really closing the shoulder at the front. You're going to come into this position, and then really opening it out to the back. So you think about closing the whole body down, and then really opening it out, and just putting a little bit more emphasis into the arm work, shoulders especially. Try to close them as much as possible. Open them out as much as possible. And then here, just taking it really into a flexible pattern. Think about a little bit of a raise as you go into the wave through the shoulder. And then a little bit of kind of diving down with the arms. You bend the knees. Release. But yeah, think about making an opening movement and then a closing down. Opening up, closing down. Just keeping the feet stable. Finding the ground all the time. And then just exaggerate this one a little bit, really coming up and then really coming down. And then coiling up, really reaching up, really reaching down. And start bringing attention to the breath. You probably want to do a nice breath in as you come up. Breathe out, you come down. So just experiment a little bit with the breath. And then just allowing the arms to separate at the top, a little bit wider through the shoulders, and then hinging down through with the hip, reach it to the ground. Let the head release the bottom, coil all the way up. And just one slight adjustment just to open the feet, activate the feet a little bit. Think about reaching up, coming up onto the toes. And then as you come down, think about sinking back into the heel, pulling the toes up. And then as you draw up to the center, just settle the foot, make it neutral. As you reach up into the toes. Sink down. Good. We just take it into the head. We've got the sun. And taking it left and right. Shoulder. Circle at the front. And mobilize it. You're working the head side to side. And then rolling through the shoulders. Circle forwards. Alternating. Okay, letting the arms loose. Looking through a figure of 8. Reactivating the hips. Rolling through the elbows. Changing direction. Circling the wrist. Change. A little bit weights back into the hand. Finger back. Change. Spreading it, spreading out the top, and as we circle around the fist, you roll back and opening out to the top. Spread the hand to the top, and then as you circle under, make a fist. You just play a little bit here with the arms as well. So as you coil in, let them come towards the body, and as you reach the fingertips out, reach the arms out. Make the ball through the arm.
Ow!
Okay. Making a fist, taking the elbow back, keep them really soft. Very good. Okay, reaching up. And slowly back out. To the side. Okay. Right, and take it to the hips. Big circles. And changing direction. And then bringing the feet together, taking them into a hinge. And spreading the knees away. And hinging back, pulling the toes up. And hinging down. And hinging back. And finding the toes into the ground and circling, keeping them nice and tight. And changing direction. Okay, just taking the foot off the floor. Taking the foot. Changing direction. Okay, bringing the knee in towards the body and then just pressing the foot out, pointing with the toe. Bring it back and just play with a different direction each time. Pull the knee into the body. Press the toes out. Pull the knee in. Good. And check that a little bit. Good. Pressing the heel down to the ground. The toes. Okay, and change foot. This side. Changing direction. Yeah, I'm bringing the knee in and I'm pointing out the toes. Shake it a little bit. Press the heel down. Touch the toes. Good. Good. Taking the legs out nice and wide. Just sink the hips down first. Think about lengthening through the spine, through the back. A bit of pressure in the knees, and then just think about lengthening up a little bit more. Crown of the head pulls up, chin pulls back slightly. And then just take it, pressing one knee away, looking over the shoulder. Pulling back to center each time. Find that pressure and then right, and then just sinking the hips a little bit lower. See the level with the knees a little bit lower. Just mobilize. And just lengthen it through one side. Good. Smooth. And then just finding one side. Finish a little bit. Switch a little bit. Change. Sink a little bit lower, bringing it over. Walking it to the other side. Okay, letting both legs come out wide to the back. Length to the back of the knees. Gently start to pull the hips up and press the hands into the ground. Find a little bit of length through the spine, through the top of the head, and then pulling the hips back as you reach the hands forward. Just gently walk out with the hands. Just until you feel grabbing the ground with the fingertips and from the hips up, knees. Press the weight now into the hands. Bring the feet together at the back and just treading out with the feet. Pressing those heels down or reaching forward. Look at that leg down. And slowly walking the hands towards the feet. Take to forward fold. Nice and slowly. Get a minute to stand in. Just taking it to a nice long lunge. Step into it. Take the opposite hand. Reach up. Start with a little bit of a back bend. A little bit, then go to the side. And if that's not comfortable, just start to gently spiral into it. Reach the hand to the top. Reach the back heel towards the ground without touching the ground. Take a couple of deep breaths. And on the next out breath, release it. A nice long lunge. Take the opposite hand up. Reach up. Gentle back bend. Take it to the side. And fold, that's fine. Take it into a spiral. And a couple of deep breaths. And release it. And we'll just bless it. Use the wrists. Together. Keep the elbows quite close to the body. Changing direction. Spreading the fingertips out. Just a few nice and slow. Really open up the palm. Spread the fingers away from each other. And then just a little bit faster. Making fist. And again, just a few nice and slow. Pulling the fingers towards the palm. Pointing with the thumb. And then a few nice press. And release the wrist. Top. Shake that a bit to the front. And release the arms. And the legs. And settle the feet, shake out the whole body. And just make it a bit tighter each time, a bit smaller. Give the impulse in the center of the body. Grounding the feet. Okay, great. Take a joke. Okay, great. We'll just start a little bit of rotation work. Just feel free to play with the feet a little bit. Take a grip, focusing on the fourth and third finger. And just keeping, again, the elbow quite close to the body. Not locked into the body, a little bit of space. A little bit of freedom with the arm. And just play with the forearm, really being able to rotate. So the key part of this movement, not really is the wrist, although that's part of it. It's really the spiral that happens down the forearm. So the elbow stays pointing down. And the forearm with the wrist, there's all that rotation movement. Good. And then just with the other hand, just create a kind of a ledge for the hand. And then think about just running the hand down it. So the key thing with this is as you reach the extension and the hand reaches the tip of the elbow, feel that the elbow is basically landing down. What you don't want to feel is the elbow kind of slips out and starts to go up. The reason for that is going to start to pull the shoulder up in this position. So not impossible to keep the connection, but the easier one to find where the shoulder can release into the body is just where the elbow basically comes down. Basically just reach out and just allow that bottom hand just to be a platform for the arm motion. And again, feel free to play with the feet. Shift the leg, go in different directions. Again, just keeping that spiral, rolling up to the forearm. Okay, now extend out a little bit further. The other hand, rather than being now on the forearm, just place it at the shoulder. So the key thing with this one now is not to feel that the shoulder pulls up out of the body into this kind of position. So use this hand just to kind of listen to the shoulder, one part of it. And the other is to just gently kind of add a little bit of pressure down. So what you want to feel now is that the shoulder is basically rolled back. It's going to come up, but you want to feel that it's rolling back down. So the line of force, in a sense, is rolling down the back of the shoulder rather than this, where you kind of create a kink in the connection. So think about this, and again, just use the hand to both listen to the shoulder, feel what's happening in the shoulder, and also just add a little bit of pressure down, a little bit of weight, not too much. And the elbow now is obviously really coming away from the body, but keep that same sense that it's able to stay pointing down towards the ground. And again, explore with the feet. Explore also reaching out in different directions. Also, like coming high is a little bit trickier. Going low, probably a little bit easier in terms of the stretch of the shoulder. But again, just play with reaching different directions. Also coming out to the side. And again, just being mindful of the shoulder and the structure as you do it, so that it's constantly kind of rolling back into the body. Very nice. And then just the same progression on the other side. So again, take a great focus really on the back two fingers, and then just feel that the elbow can just stay around the body and really mobilizing the forearm. You can play a little bit with the feet. And then again, using the other hand, just pull my ledge for the hand, and you're just running the track down the arm. And again, reaching to the elbow, wrist to elbow. I want to feel that the whole forearm in between really spiraling through the hand contact. Being able to mobilize the forearm so that the elbow doesn't pop up out straight. And then that last progression, flicking the hand to the shoulder and reaching out a little bit further, experimenting with coming a little bit higher, going a little bit lower. Again, experiment with the feet. Great, and then we'll just take it into a figure of eight, so just keep it nice and calm, rolling from one side to the other. Again, explore with the feet, moving around the space. But the key thing first, again, is feel that the shoulder's able to stay within the body. And as you move around, you've got all this activity in the front of the body. You really think about the back side of the body, so the whole rear of the body. Think about the back of the head and the neck, between the shoulder blades, the lower back and the hips. Think about also like the back of the knees, the heel. Bring your awareness to that area. Nice ones are moving forward, moving back. If you do it, but pressing the space backwards, pressing into space forward. And then just add a little bit more emphasis now on the kind of outward, like so there's now a little bit more of a rotation outward, a little bit more of an impulse down to the ground. So just play with it and kind of mix in the in palm, the neutral just flowing into it, and then every so often just play with a little bit more of a outward movement. But again, the key is that it's not pulling the structure out, and you're not pulling up more into the ground each time. So a little bit more of a little bit of pressure out. You're right. It's a little bit of a tricky one. It involves the leg now, so it's basically a mix of the two. I'll try and show it a few times, but the basic thing of this is as you do this kind of gentle rotation, what I want you to do is just sort of think about lowering the body down. You're kind of scooping down with it, and then think of the next one is going to be the slightly more of an inflection out, or slightly more of an expression out. So you start in this case with the right. What I'm thinking about is kind of coming into this movement, lowering the body down. And then as I transition to the left, I'm thinking about extending with a step. And you can do this both sides. But the key thing now is just think about that kind of relax down and then release it. And you can do this with lots of different patterns. But one nice one is to think about as you go down, think about stepping back. And as you go into the extension, think about stepping forward. So that's a kind of nice basic one, just to start movement. That's the idea. You're kind of down, gathering, and then you've got a reaching out. Good. We'll do one more pattern, which is about really opening up the side, so open up to the top of the sky. So if you think about this pattern that we do, reaching up to the top of the head, we're going to use this. We'll go into this, but start with this idea. The Joe's basically wrapped to the body this here, and then you're just going to pass the Joe around the body basically. You just do this to this, this to this. The first idea with this one is just to release the shoulders a little bit to the side, just to open up that space. And just getting used to the Joe basically traveling around the body. So the Joe stays in contact with the body, nice relaxed movement. But open up the shoulders a little bit. And elbows down. And just play with this one. You're going to basically start to open the movement out. So find this pattern, got it? And then every so often let it reach up to the top. Every so often let it raise up to the top. And then come back down. So let it wrap, let it wrap, and then release it. Wrap, and release it. So the main thing now is as you reach up, think about really maintaining the weight down, keeping the structure relaxed. Not being disturbed by that upward movement. It's really about the elbow, shoulder, the forearm, being able to mobilize without compromising the structure. And then once you feel comfortable with the pattern, just play with moving with it. So move with the feet, walk around a little bit. And then when you open up, you can also really start to rotate the body. You can start to really open this out. Okay, last one with this. It's just to exaggerate these two directions now. So the side movement and the up movement. So again, play with motion in this one, play with the footwork, but you're going to now, rather than kind of wrapping to the side of the body, think about reaching out with the Joe. So it's like the back end of the Joe goes towards the armpit. And then think about, in this case, really in the Joe to the top. So you've got the big side movement, and then really switch at the top and then come back. You can do two things. If you're not comfortable with the switch at the top, just kind of bring the Joe up and then bring it down. But if you can, think about coming up to the side and then coming out with the other stuff. And yet think now, really difficult position for the shoulder to be in structure. Think about, again, the ground, about the shoulder, the elbow, everything's kind of sinking down towards the ground. Which is especially difficult now in these two positions. Very good. Okay, last one hit we'll do. Just think about opening the back. So now you're bringing the jaw across the spine, switching the hand, and then breathing it out. Again, just play with the feet with this one. Move around a little bit. The key thing with this is that's the jaw goes to the back. You obviously can't see it, so it's just bringing any awareness against the whole back side of the body. Open up the shoulders a little bit. It's a nice one. Also, trying to touch the teeth. Good. And then once you get comfortable with it, just start to add a little bit more movement. Then let the jaw rotate with you. Go into this. You bring all the way to the back side of the body. And then last minute, so just really mixing these movements. So you've got the kind of standard figure of 8. You've got these movements, so you're kind of wrapping the body around, wrapping the jaw around the body, coming up to the top, coming also low, extending out a little bit, finding the back, just mix them all in. Move around freely. Oh, okay, good. We're going to go a little bit of ski work. So we'll just start with a Zengo. We're working front and back. So finding a nice clean posture here, thrusting into the ground, and then rotate to the back, thrust in the back side. Just nice and full movements. Take it into a ski. Working front and back. Yeah, so all this kind of rotation work, basically elbow control, I'm allowing the forearm to find the rotation. That's a kind of really useful skill. In this case, it's really sort of this pattern. So what I go into is the elbow to raise up in this position and kind of pull it over the body. Think about the elbows actually draining down this way. And then as you do that, this is going to rotate. This rotates, this rotates. And then as you do that, so just think as you do this, think about the elbows draining down. And the forearm's going to be doing a lot of rotation. If you think about like empty hand work when we do Morihei Ueshiba, these kind of things, the elbow being down and being able to rotate through the forearm, spiral through the forearm. Let's play with it here. And the elbow can go up, but it's the feeling in the elbow. Really, that's the important thing. Sinking down. The feeling the shoulder sinking down. So it's really a feeling point, but it is in a way, it's a technical skill. Which is why a lot of those jaw rotation movements are very useful. Okay, and then just play with this rotation, which is now bringing the elbows up. So you bring the hands up and you switch the side this way. So again, now you're doing something where the elbow is actually raising up, but you want the feeling to drop. So the feeling in the elbows is always kind of down. So when you do open the space up between the hip and the elbow, think about that space being like elastic. It pulls up and then it draws down into it. So there's a constant kind of feeling of the elbow wanting to come back into the body. And as soon as I feel like the elbow is wanting to be free from the body, then I'm kind of breaking the structure. So think about something the elbow basically hangs down towards the ground. The best way I find with this is think about kind of big weights kind of attached to the elbow with strings, and they're pulling them down. So whatever you're doing up is basically being pulled down. Yeah. Okay, and then one point with this is where it's really important, like balance is really crucial for this, because if I'm out of balance and I look for the elbow to find the ground, then I'm being pulled out of the ground all the time. So actually balance is the first thing with this. So in order to get this feeling, I need to basically be settled in the feet, and I need to have the structure basically aligning to the ground. The moment I'm out with that, this will happen. So I can have the feeling of draining down with the elbow, but if I'm out of balance, it doesn't matter, because I'm already out of the ground anyway. So my connection to the ground is weak. So think as you do this, like this move, the best feedback for this is actually if you just stand and you just raise the jaw. Okay, so if I just raise it, if I'm pulled tight out of balance, I feel it. But if I'm actually if I'm releasing down into the ground and I lift the jaw up, then I actually feel the pressure kind of just go to the feet. Okay, so it's the difference between that and that. And I can have all this kind of released elbow, but if I'm out of balance, it's really not, it's not useful. So I think as you do this movement now, again, as you come into this pattern, it's in the body really needs to do it. And as soon as I'm out, I'm going to pull me forward. So really short, releasing elbow great, but balance is the main. So just play a little bit of this. And this is why weapon works great, because it's constantly challenging your ability to balance the body. And for a functional movement, try and maintain. Good. Great, and we'll just work with a little bit of 𝘭𝘫𝘦𝘴. So this is a great one again for like elbow control weight down, but it's really, in a way, a challenging one because the tendency is to go down with it. So take 𝘭𝘫𝘦𝘴, working both sides, and look for something that's balanced into the ground. And then the same thing, the elbows are draining down, the body's balancing into the ground. Okay. And then just play with both sides. And then ski, 𝘭𝘫𝘦𝘴. Balance, especially in that last position. And the strike. Okay, we'll just play with the footwork a little bit. Again, balance, different footwork patterns going to bring different kind of challenges. So there's really three kind of. We've got the basic one, which is like an attack, which is basically just a full kind of step through. You're just stepping into it. The second one is to come off the line, so basically come in here, this position, and then basically exiting the line this way, and then the strike here. Okay? And then the third one is coming back with it, which is more of a function of a block, coming here and actually rolling back. Okay? So in really simple sense, you've got to strike forward, you've got to strike off the line, and you've got to roll back into a block. So those are your three basic moves. You can do other things with it, but just play with those three possibilities for the footwork. Nothing really changes with the movement of the arm. Drastic. But the key thing is now what happens with the feet. Strike forwards. Strike off the line. Block backwards. Okay, so there's really one big difference. These three between the first and third and the second movement. Okay, so the first one and the third one, they deal with like expansion of the body. So when you do the strike, you're really in this kind of position. So when I finish it, I'm basically in this triangulated position. And when I do the block back, I'm also looking for that triangulated position. So I want to be kind of wide and expanded. When I do the second one, coming off the line, what I'm looking for is a little bit more contraction to the body. Yeah, because I'm coming off the line, because I'm leaving the line, and I've got an attack basically coming down here. What I want to do is basically make the body a little bit tighter. Okay, so it means that this arm, rather than being in this position, is a little bit closer. Okay, so just explore this a little bit because it's an interesting idea. It's basically how to stay big when you actually go small. Yes, I go smaller with the body, but I don't want to feel that the body's kind of cramped. Use the first and the third when you're looking for big expansion, boom, big triangulation with the body. And then use that to keep that feeling as I actually start to narrow the body down. So hands a little bit closer to the body. The triangle basically becomes smaller at the front, but I need to keep that sense of being kind of spread with the energy of the body. Looking for expansion and contraction. Yeah. Okay. No. Okay, last minute or so, just play freely with the skewer, changing it up the head. You've got Zendo, and you've also got now the 𝘭𝘪𝘦𝘢𝘵𝘢𝘪𝘁, and you just explore forward steps, backward, you got the line, and just mix them in. And again, you're just looking for the ground all the time. If any other moves come up, you have to let them. And if you get lost, just stop. Great. Okay, we will stop right now. Right. Domo arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Okie dokie. Great. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Nice spot you're in. Have a
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye bye.